schedule it, and then it was just going to be like jump on here, but no, that was a mess. So, anyways,
all right,
we
let's
haven't
get
been
to
on
it,
here.
shall we?
Let's get to it. Yeah, we haven't been on here in a while, so this is hopefully like our new hangout method. So,
yeah, listen,
subscribe
everybody.
to our channel.
Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because as we mentioned a few months ago, before the foraging season started, when we started the Practical Foragers group, the original one that's called the Practical Foragers group, that was spun off of one of my Facebook accounts. And so we quickly were learning about how logarithms work. We're doing all of this at the same time that we're talking to you guys, and we're learning. So we're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen, and we're learning from them. So learn from us. Learn from us too. If you're trying to start a business and get it up off the ground, and I'm all about sharing tips, aren't you, Addie?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've had
We
no
pretty much give
professionals
away
at all.
any kind of secrets for free, really.
Yeah, and we've had no professionals helping us other than us. And
A couple of people, but not many.
Yeah, no. And the funny thing is that I always say, how when I was monitoring a lot of these foraging forums and the health forums and things like that, what made me so pissed off about it all was that you'd see all these Barbie dolls with makeup and everything else, and I'm thinking to myself, yes, no, that is not the real of it. And I wanted to put something forth that was real. And this is about as real as you're going to get. You're going to catch us out in the field. You're going to watch us make mistakes. You're going to watch us rebound. You're going to learn from them too. And hopefully you'll get better, just like we're getting better. So stick with us. And really thank you for it, by the way.
Yeah. We're going to try to cover more like current events, and I think like Jan and I want to just be like, maybe it'd be like a 10-minute video, 20-minute video, cover things. So what's on the news table today for foraging? I'm seeing somebody went viral, and like, this is not my, cup of tea or Monster energy drink, coffee to sip at, but what the heck's going on with
Listen,
who is it? Explain this to me, because I don't know much.
First of all, I listen, I don't like to talk. Listen, if you're one of my clients, you're on my New England Planner page, and if you're on that page, you can see the way I feel about things. That's where I'm putting stuff up. However, that being said, the foraging community has suffered a massive loss with the Appalachian Forager. I was busy all weekend because it's my birthday weekend, and we had lobster boat races, which I raced and won. So I wasn't really connecting and, staying any time online to see this until like at 3:00 this morning. And I immediately went to all the river socials, and all of them are down. And that's not good. That means that, yes, there's going to be a thread of truth to this. And she's going to owe people a lot of money if she got advances for book deals and all that other kind of stuff. And I know that she has risen in popularity quite quickly, and she has a down home appeal and, the Appalachian, hook and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's great. But it's not good for our community, because nowadays with sexual assault, with women being a protected class, to find out another woman may be funding a man who's trying to beat charges is sad. And I talked to Addie for like a minute, and I'll share with you guys my thoughts on it, and then I'm just going to shut up. Listen, when you go public, you got to make sure your background's pretty clean, especially if they're calling you on TV shows, and you're writing books, and you're showing up on Good Morning America or wherever she was and things like that. You better have a really good team behind you, and you better be authentic. So this is what I mean by when I say all the time, and it's not just has to do with foraging, it has to do with everything. Okay. Some things are just not what they post to be. Now, she may have had really good intentions with bringing foraging to the forefront and but now people are going to be talking more about her, not because of her foraging and her easy down home recipes that she kind of breaks down for everybody, which, you know, she's going to be known for this. And
Yeah,
it's
unfortunately.
going to be connected to the foraging community. And that's not good. And for that, shame on her. You know, so it is what it is. And, you know, nowadays a lot of people are getting canceled. And, you
Well,
know,
getting canceled is a little different than what that was. Getting canceled is, you know,
yeah,
something
but
that was
she's
okay a while
nothing.
ago that isn't okay now. You know,
I
what
know,
they
but
were doing
listen,
is never okay.
I know, but you won't understand because you have a thingy in between your legs, how this is so degrading
I agree that
for
it's
women, period.
terrible.
Period. It's just not acceptable whatsoever. I don't give a shit what excuse she has. You know,
Yeah.
if in fact this is what happened, then there is no excuse. And see you later, bye. And, you know, bring up another forager to the forefront, I guess. But,
Well,
you know, I don't want to be cruel. I don't like to speak poorly on other, you know, tincturists at all. I think it's poor ethics. So I'll just say, you know, I wish her the best. And that's it.
yeah, I don't know. I would walk right by her or, you know, any of them on the street and not even know who they are. So I should know who you know, I should know being in the community, but I'm so focused on our group and the people we help out with. I don't spend a lot of time watching too many foraging videos or foraging, what do they call them now? Digital ethnobotanists. You know, a lot of people are self-proclaimed now, so you don't know who to trust. I trust a few survivalist guys. I like them, and then a couple guys that are local, like Ethan Tapper and
I
Know Your
love
Land,
Ethan.
all those
Listen,
channels.
I post
They don't
Ethan stuff all the time. You know that because
they don't serve you a bunch of bullshit. You know, they're not. They're just for the love of the game. You know, that's what I like about a lot of these people. So that's
listen,
all.
you know, we've talked before how if
Yeah,
you're a tincturist and if you're a forager in the herbalist community and you're making tinctures and you're doing it for any length of time, dude, you don't get rich on this. This is not why we do this. I'm poor. I am poor. Okay. I don't
rich
have,
with
you know,
happiness though,
yes, I
and
do what makes
that's
me
part
happy.
of it.
Okay. But it's not like I don't have a ton of money. You know, I have problems just like everybody else, you know, and so, you know, I when you do this, you don't do this for money, you don't chase fame, you don't do that. That that's not ethical. When you're called to herbalism, it's a calling that you get.
Mm.
And it's not just because you think you have a calling because you want to stay home and not have to do too much. So this looks like a good side gig. No, you got to know a lot about chemistry, biochemistry, botany,
Customer
mycology.
service skills are like a must. Like a lot of people don't realize when you're getting into herbal remedies and this, like you're going to be shipping a lot just because that's the way the business is and the way people shop now. And
Well, I think the difference between
little things, you got to be on your game. And if
it
you put in
is.
all your time and hours and money and you add it up, like I did it one year and it was like less than $2, $3, or $4 an hour. I was like, wow, that kind of doesn't really add up too well.
Listen to this, and
So,
you probably
you
won't
know,
ever hear this from other business people, okay? But you're
yeah.
going to hear it from this business.
And I don't claim to be a businessman
Okay,
yet, so we'll see.
I want and expect every year to lose money because I'm not doing this for gain.
Yeah.
You and I went into this because people were making ghost pipe and some pretty dangerous concoctions and making things like homemade arsenic with peach pits and telling everybody, go ahead, drink it. It tastes like it's almond extract.
Yeah,
That's what
Facebook
we got
let a
into.
lot of stuff slide a few years
A
ago.
lot of it. And, you know, with me being a direct descendant of the New England planters, there's got to be a line at some point. And I drew a line. And I don't want people getting hurt. I don't want all these scammers coming in and telling people how to make things wrong. So we went into
Yeah.
it for the right reasons. So in other words, we're not doing this to get rich, are we?
No, and like the other thing is like Jan and I, like a while ago, we met in a different group. So like now that we run our own group, there's no sense for her and I to like run around in all these other ones trying to explain stuff to everybody, because you know, you can overwork yourself that way. But the most popular plant.
I do. I'm in a lot of the forums.
I
I'm a
know I've been in a couple that I still comment
Republican.
and go with, but they have that good admin still, like the Pennsylvania Mushroom Club group. That's a great one. The
You know
main
what though?
mushroom
The
group's
kids
a
are
good
still
one.
learning that's doing that. I think the best Myco page on social media by far, and I belong to a lot of them, is the main mushroom page.
That
Because
one's
of
pretty
Kevin
good.
Fowler, because of Kevin Fowler and the boys. They are very active admins, and you behave on that page. And
What
I,
about the
you know,
Pennsylvania one? That one's a little crazy.
I enjoyed being part of that group during the lockdown.
It's
And
busier than the main one.
yeah,
But
I love the main mushroom one. I just do. You
yeah,
know,
they like a little more humorous than the Pennsylvania is just like the same picture over and over. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this?
yeah. Can I eat it? What is this? Can I eat it? What is it? Can I eat it? That's
Yeah,
one
and
thing
they're
you
always
never
like,
want
why
to
do you
ask
always
the
need to know if
forager.
you can eat it or not? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you get people start getting arguments or like,
Listen,
yeah,
that brings up a good point. If you're new to foraging and you post a picture because you really want to know if this thing is edible,
yeah,
the reason why people come at you in these forums when you ask if it's edible is because that's kind of a loaded question for a myco freak like me and so many other mycologists. Because what they're thinking is, holy shit, all the lookalikes, all the everything. Does this person even know what they're doing? And oh my goodness, why are they asking if it's edible? Let's get it. Let's get the taxonomy nailed first. You know, do some spore prints. It's not because they're trying to make your life hard.
no,
It's because there are some elementary things that you have to do in order to ID a mushroom. Can someone ID it for you and say, yeah, that's chicken of the woods. Go ahead. That's edible. You eat it. And then the next time that person goes out, they think that they nailed it. And what they cooked was toxic jack-o'-lanterns because
yeah,
they didn't learn the difference. They just thought because it's orange and at the bottom of a tree, oh, well, this is orange at the bottom of the tree, same thing. You know, so we want to make, you know, people that are herbalists and mycologists and stuff like that, we want to make sure that everybody learns the basics. And
yeah,
while I'm talking about that, let's talk about dilution real quick. I'm going to take a 2-minute sidebar for that. We talk about a lot of times about how you don't intentionally dilute an otherwise perfectly good quality and consistent tincture by adding water to it. Okay, unless it's a mushroom that only deserves dual tincturing, that's the only thing that you're going to add water to. And that's because mussels are thin, they don't carry a lot of water when they're dry, so you're going to use distilled water. Okay, you don't use tap water, you don't use spring water, you don't do water by the light of the moon, none of that kind of stuff. You get distilled because it's got the appropriate pH and you use that. You don't dual tincture plants ever. There's no need to. So when people are taking medicine, when they've done it right and they've used the right solvent and stuff like that, you know, you hear a lot of times, oh, it just tastes so terrible. I want to add something to it. I want to use flavored liquor instead. And the whole time I think to myself, what is wrong with these people? When we say dilute your tinctures to make them taste better, we don't mean to intentionally add stuff into the actual tincture. No. That's for when you dose. Okay, you're going to add it to your favorite drink. That's how you're diluting your tincture. You see, easy peasy. You don't intentionally add water in to a plant. If you see somebody saying that they're dual tincturing plants, I saw that in a wild lettuce forum where they said
yeah.
that
I've
they
seen
were
lots of
selling
stuff.
dual tincture wild lettuce, and by dual they meant they used cooked tar, which has no medicinal value because heat denatured it all, and they added the tar to an actual tincture, which probably otherwise would have been fine without the tar. That's what they call dual tincturing, because they think because they use two, it's a dual tincture. Nope, that's not it. That's not the lingo. So a lot of times you'll see me or Addie pop in and we'll say, nope, that's not the lingo. That's how we do it, and so, don't be surprised. So don't get caught up in the whole dilution thing. And the other thing is when you're talking about dilution, when you're making tinctures, just do it the folk method way. I think some people have gone crazy with this whole dilution thing, and they think that you need to add water to a solvent.
Yeah.
No, you need those powerful alcohols in order to withdraw the medicinals and withdraw all the H2O molecules, the innate waters that are in that living plant that you tincture. Because we don't tincture dried, right? Dried is for teas and balms, and things like that, and salves, tonics, elixirs. It's not really for a tincture. Tincture, you're going to have the actual medicinals you're going to want to use live, except for mushrooms. There's some
I think that people want to just have it easier. I don't know if they know enough about it or
I
not,
think it's easier, and they're taking it too literal. So if I break it down during this podcast, at least we've got that little bit, and people can take that and go running with it.
Like you can like what I do sometimes is I have sodas with top bottles, so I'll make teas and then I'll add my tinctures in the teas, and I'll have like 2 or 3 bottles that I can drink when I wake up or whatever. So you can take them that way too. That's the best way I find.
It is, as long as the water's not
routine.
You just don't want the water boiling. You just want the water.
No.
Yeah.
I put it in cold tea.
Yeah. You can put it in steep tea, just like the ghost pipe plant, in all our tincture bottles, we stick a plant, root inclusive. And because we cut them, sometimes you'll get like a half a plant with a flower head, but don't worry, there's a root in there because I make sure that there's roots in there. At the end of the bottle, because it's also making the tincture stronger because the root's in there and the flower's still in there, but they're edible, like we've said before. Even dried dead ghost pipe that you find in the woods, that I would probably put in tea before, something that was dried out by, the sun for the vitamin D synthesis. I would want something, and I don't know what we've got in ghost pipe for vitamin D3 synthesis either. So we're going to have to find out when University of Pennsylvania finishes their.
Yeah. Penn State, I guess they're still working on it. They said they have through 2027. I imagine if they found anything like crucial or like needed to, for like something that needed to be known right away, they probably would release it. I assume they would. They wouldn't hold some harmful thing back, knowing people were into it. But ghost pipe is
we put out the PubMed article that
that was shared by one of our group members too in another thread, and she's great. I don't want to put her name out there, but she's very cool. So she posted that, and I read that in the comments. Was like, man, finally. So yeah. You go ahead and explain that.
No
that was pretty cool.
Toxins in ghost pipe, guys. There isn't any toxins at all. Okay, just like Addie and I have been telling you. So, that's good. But what that means for the botany members and the botany circles is this. Know this: the community has been talking about giving ghost pipe its own genus. Okay, its very own, because it no longer belongs in with blueberries and azaleas and things like that. It doesn't belong in that family anymore. Those items contain granotoxins. Ghost pipe doesn't. And so now that we've got at least that broke down, and they're really going to use that PubMed article as well as the ensuing research that's going to come out. To, really push getting its own family and genus name. And the other thing is that the American ghost pipe that we have here is different than the ghost pipe that they find in Asia and the ghost pipe they even find in Central and South America and in Mexico. So it's its own little thing here. So let's see what happens. I'm excited for it because I know
they're going to release some information soon. I would think. I mean, They had all last year to gather as much as they wanted, this year to gather as much as they wanted. It's growing again. I mean, what more are they doing or testing? I mean, I don't know what they're going to
I
find, but I
think
think they're going to find that each flower and cluster is going to have its own unique, different makeups
genetic
to it.
makeup. Yeah. I
So
think
I don't think you're going to get like this one's the
these
same
are
as
my
that one.
thoughts.
They're really going to.
My
I don't know. I don't know
thoughts.
what to expect. I can't predict it. But tons of
My
different
thoughts
sugars and
are this.
glycosides and stuff like that.
I think the reason why it's going to take so long is because they have to develop new tests, because the standardized tests that
Sure.
are there now won't touch the ghost pipe, which is probably why it's taken so long. Because at the beginning, when they let out the first update, it was, oh my goodness, there's thousands and thousands of chemicals in ghost pipe, and it's going to take us a long time to figure it out. That's because they don't have standardized tests for it.
Yeah.
So they're making it up as they go, and it's about time that somebody did this. And this just goes to show you how hard it's been in the past
Yeah.
for other people to do this. So I'm going to cross my fingers that
I
they don't
know.
run out of money and that they keep going on this study.
Well,
So,
that team of people, they really care about the plant. They care about it being used for medicinal purposes and whatnot. They don't want to just come up with and dispel it and then run it over and get rid of it. They're like trying to make this like groundbreaking and keep it out of harm's way and
and
keep
that takes a
keep
lot
it.
of money, because you can't patent a plant. You can't.
No, and you can't
What
grow it
you
not
can
not
do
unless
is
Penn State figures it out. But
what you
they're the
can
only ones who
do is
could.
what the only thing that our government and states can do is file it under protected status, make it, call it endangered, but it's not endangered. So that's the thing.
No,
So
they
they can't
can
stop
call it
anybody from
protected
picking it.
though, just like ginseng and a few other roots and natural. They call it like a natural resource or label it something stupid like that. Um, but a couple states are banning it. I mean,
No, you can't
not banning
ban.
it. I shouldn't say that. I should say they
Oh,
are considered threatened, but it's just on the cusp. Forget where it is. It might be like Indiana or something, but it's right where the borderline of where it would stop growing and become a desert. So right in that area anyway would be
Colorado.
it would be like far and few between anyway. So they should protect it, I guess, in those areas, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
and you'll go on the forums and people say, "Oh, it's a federally protected plant. You can't pick it." Blah, 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 blah. Those are crazy people. Okay. Yes, you can pick it, and they're trying to scare you. They're trying to give you plant phobia. They're
Yeah,
trying to, and we've talked before about how there's a big difference between conservationists and naturalists and foragers. Conservation, they don't want to pay paradise to put up a parking lot. Naturalists, we want to protect the plants where the parking lot is. We don't care about the parking lot, things like that. Herbalists, something else. So everybody's got a piece in this pie, and you've got to
yeah,
have the pieces all together in order to see it as a whole. And the bottom line is, no one's going to tell you what you can do on your own damn land, period. we're,
yeah.
we're Americans, and we will do what we want with our own damn property. We paid it. We pay the taxes. We bought it. Done. Now, as far as going on trails in somebody else's property, well, you ask permission. If it's a public trail, the trailhead will say, we don't want you harvesting mushrooms, leave things in a natural state. All the information is always on a trailhead. Take a picture of the trailhead. Why? Because if somebody does stop you on the trail, what's to say they didn't slap a piece of paper up afterward? But if you got a timestamp picture that says, oh no, it wasn't there,
Yeah,
things like that, then you're good. But it's also good for your memory too. And to get into that practice where you read those trailhead markers, because they'll have important information on there. The one local here to me in Bangor here, last week, they put up a notice on the trailhead that there was a bear seen that day. That's the same day that I took the picture of the bear scat, guys. That
yeah.
bear scat was fresh. It was just like a few hours old. So, but I was warned. See, so trailheads do that. Yeah. So pick away, do what you want. Don't listen to people telling you to cut and all that other kind of stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, just listen to the park rangers. If you're out there, know your rules. Go talk to them. Pennsylvania has pretty much three big no's. You don't. There's a one wildflower. I think it's lady slippers. You're not supposed to touch.
Here too.
Wild
It's in
ginseng.
Massachusetts. Yeah, most of New England states you can't pick lady slippers because it takes them like
Yeah.
7 to 10 years to bloom. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're on there. Ginseng is on there. You can't harvest ginseng. And what's the other one? Truffles. You need a permit to cut for those two things. Everything else is kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say fair game, but you can go to the park office and request and talk to them and say, hey, do I need a permit to do this? Can I go? It's like, can I go pick these berries? So they.
You just knock on somebody's door. That's it. I can't tell you guys how many times, especially late summer, because my
People
favorite.
do not like their doors being knocked on nowadays. Where I'm at, they'd be like, "What do you want?" They wouldn't even answer the door. They would talk to you through a screen.
I did it just in the last week. I went by and I saw a black stain of polypore that was growing at the base of a hardwood, and for a second I said, "Oh my goodness, that's an early hen! I'm so excited!" And no matter what it was, I was still going to pull it because I don't want it to get hit with the lawnmower or weed whacker, but it also gives me a chance to be able to educate the homeowner. And so I love knocking on doors. So this one here I knocked on. I said, hey, my name's Janice, and I'm a professional fine organic gardener. I happen to be driving by. I saw that mushroom at the base of your oak there. And then she says, oh, my goodness, that damn thing comes back every year. We don't know what to do with it. And I said, well, I could teach you about it. So I take it as an opportunity to tell them what kind of mushroom it is so they're not afraid of it. And they know what to do with it. And 99.9% of the time, I leave with all those mushrooms. There's never been a time a landowner has told me, no, you can't have that mushroom.
Yeah.
So it's respectful. It's what we do.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at our group too. So we're at 12,500 members in our public group. So that's pretty cool. That's like 500 or 600 people in like 2 weeks again. We're on a run.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are out there foraging. If you're new to our channel, if you're new to our group, welcome. It's the Jan and Andy show.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of work. If some of you guys have messaged me at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and I reply, that's probably because I'm working in the group, because I have to deny people, I have to accept people, because we want to keep our group pure. Addie and I had a conversation like 2 weeks ago because we were coming up to the 12,000 mark, and we were excited about it. I was happy about it. And then I went in and I cleaned up all the locked profiles of the people that had Arabic writing and they were from another country in Indonesia, all the scammers, in other words. I got rid of about 144 people, I think it was. And that brought our numbers back down below 12,000. And I was like, oops.
We had to wait again.
Yeah, but the thing is that Addie and I want to have a clean, authentic group. So it requires a lot of work, and I am very happy that we have little over 12,000 followers, and it means people are getting it.
Our little ghost pipe group too. We run a little informational group too, because we meet a lot of new people through there. That has 600 people now, 602. So it's small, but triple the amount it was last year.
That went from like 60 people to over 600. And we got the sales group.
People are still in there. People are having fun in that little group. So am I. That's kind of my baby. So I take pride in that little group. But do you have anything else you want to cover before we maybe think about wrapping it up?
I
was trying to remember. We might or might not be hanging out in a few weeks too, right? All right.
Hey
So,
guys, we're gonna have a special thing going on because we're actually gonna be in the same room and we're gonna be out foraging and we're gonna be
maybe
making all kinds
we'll
of
see.
videos for foraging and stuff like that. And we're gonna be doing some lives, of course. But Addie and I, believe it or not, even though we've been friends for 2 years now, we have never shared the same air in the same space. So because he's in Pennsylvania, I'm in Maine. So, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So stay tuned. It's coming up in August, guys. We'll let you know when it's coming up.
Yeah. And we're gonna start putting these on our Spotify channel again. And I don't know, Jan and I might do something like this every time there's a big current event or something like that.
Yes, join our Spotify. It's free. Come on. Join in on the
Yeah.
fun. Because
So,
it'll help us. I think because when the group was under 10,000, it was easy to make these videos and then have to do all the work and then repost them onto the Practical Foragers
yeah.
group page and all that other kind of stuff. Whereas if it's just on Spotify, you guys just go there. You don't need us to beat you over the head.
And Facebook deletes your videos after 30 days, like we do lives on Facebook. So there's no point in doing them there anymore.
Yeah, so
Just for them to
YouTube,
delete your shit.
Spotify,
So
yeah, YouTube and Spotify, and then we'll post the videos afterwards. But if you want to take part in it, you want to ask questions, join the
yeah,
lives on YouTube and Spotify, and you'll be
we
fine.
don't have really anybody listening to this one, to be honest. So that kind of holds the tempo. People are talking and asking questions about stuff they
I
want to know.
know.
But hey, this was
We
a
did it
Monday
early because
afternoon.
we were so excited to get this on the air. And I've got to go looking for a car because the Hummer needs to retire. So listen, everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Right, Addie?
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, eat your mushrooms. Keep your hands to yourself and be kind to one another, especially yourself. You read the planner?
Yeah.
Oh.
See you guys.